I know I already did a video on this today, but this is a story that just dropped, and I want to tie it in to another story that dropped yesterday, and that's big changes coming to Star Wars thanks to the Panderverse. Now, I think that episode actually did kind of scare Disney. It's like, oh, people are really noticing what we're doing here. Well, now Kathleen Kennedy, who was the focus of that episode, has come out and said, we're going to make universe-shaking changes. It's not just going to be me anymore. I'm going to bring Dave Filoni up. My yes man, who will do everything I say anyway, will now have input in all of the Star Wars stories. I'm not excited for this. First off, Dave Filoni has kind of been the head of the Mandoverse. The Mandoverse, in my opinion, has fallen apart completely. Who is going to honestly tell me that season 3 of The Mandalorian was good? That season was absolute dog shit. And it hasn't gotten any better since. I thought Ahsoka sucked too. And the ratings that came out for that show had significant decline. That show is jockeying with Andor ratings-wise. That's not good. Nobody watched Andor, really. So I think that Star Wars has lost a significant audience since The Mandalorian popped up and kind of revitalized the franchise a little bit. It's kind of gone all downhill again. I think it really hit with the Book of Boba Fett. I think that's where the audience really kind of stepped out and went away. They were already kind of doing that before the Mandoverse, let's be real. Last Jedi really did tremendous damage to this franchise, and Rise of Skywalker did not help. You brought Mandalorian in, kind of revived it a little bit. Season 2 did a really good job of making people like Luke Skywalker again and thinking maybe this franchise is going to actually fix things. Nope. Then they quickly quadrupled down on the sequel trilogy and continued with their bullshit. Wait till that Acolyte show comes up. So apparently Dave Filoni is going to have input on everything. He's chief creative officer. But given his history now with Kathleen Kennedy as being kind of her yes man little dog boy, I don't think that this is going to fix anything. So his quote here is that he is now what they call chief creative officer. That's what he was saying. Here's the quote. Dave Filoni has a new mission in the Star Wars universe after guiding Rosario Dawson's force-wielding hero to distant celestial realms. In the first season of Ahsoka, the writer, producer, director also started out working alongside George Lucas on the animated Clone Wars nearly 2 decades ago and has ascended to a new position at Lucasfilm, one that will give him input into all of the galactic storytelling going forward. Now I'm what's called Chief Creative Officer of Lucasfilm, Filoni tells Vanity Fair, which places him into the development process, much earlier, and in a much more expansive capacity than his previous advisory duties in the past. In a lot of projects, I would be brought in, and it would be after it already had developed in good ways. Now he's going to be there from the beginning. This does not excite me, which is what this is supposed to do. I can kind of see through Dave Filoni's bullshit, especially when he did that little meeting where he said, if you're mad about all these girls in Star Wars now, you should just basically leave. I can't remember the exact quote, but he was basically talking about how he's a hardcore feminist and shit. So I don't trust him. He's obviously probably going to replace Kathleen Kennedy too. Maybe. It's going to be him and Carrie Beck with Kathleen Kennedy, who, believe me, is still firmly in control of this franchise. I think what's going on here is a response to a lot of that South Park criticism where they pretty much threw her name right out there. This is her kind of using Dave Filoni as a shield, in my opinion. That's what I think is going on here. And they're trying to walk back some of the shit that got said during the third season of The Mandalorian, when they basically came out several times and said that Bo-Katan is going to be the new Mandalorian. I mean, they said this. They said, oh, yeah, it's her show now. And Dave Filoni, Pedro Pascal's basically like, yeah, that's awesome. The show is Din Djarin show, and then they totally moved over to Bo-Katan. And I like her, and I like Katie Sackhoff, or at least I did. That season was unbearable, but it's obvious to me that, you know, everyone was talking about what happened. People brought up the Mandalorian shit when that episode dropped, because that's exactly what they did, except she's, as far as I know, not into anybody. We'll see. I'm sure Bo-Katan will be made a woman who likes women as well. This is what Kathleen Kennedy loves. This is what Disney loves. But they love women at the front now. Put a chick in it, make it lame. That's what Star Wars has been doing for a long time. And now they're like, yeah, well, this is definitely Din Djarin's show. Katie Sackhoff got asked this question. And she's like, yeah, this is Din Djarin's show. It will always be Din Djarin's show. I don't know about that. I watched season 3. It was your show. It was your show in season 3. So I think this is them kind of trying to damage control for all the shit going on. That Star Wars, that South Park episode came out at the perfect time. Right before their sales call, right before the Marvels. They announced all kinds of stupid shit for Marvel now, like what they're doing with the Fantastic Four, Silver Surfer. Star Wars has been dying. That damage that franchise has sustained is irreversible, I think, at this point. But they've got to try to keep people excited, so they come out and say, yeah, The Mandalorian, it's still Din Djarin, even though Pedro Pascal is only doing voice work now. This has been known since May 24th, 2023, when they were talking about how it's mostly just voice work for him now. Yeah, I don't see them moving forward with him as the main hero. He'll probably be around, definitely as a supporting character, but Bo-Katan is definitely going to be the Mandalorian from here on out. Kathleen Kennedy is just trying to run as much damage control as she can, because there's a big spotlight on her. So now, oh, yeah, we'll have Dave in here. We'll have Dave in here, even though he does everything I say. And if he doesn't like my opinion or what I want, he can go ahead and leave and go find new work. Kathleen Kennedy is a very spiteful, nasty person, and it's her way or the highway. So Dave being in there, even if you like him, nothing good is going to come from that. So, until she leaves, and I don't think she's leaving anytime soon, because, I mean, why would you make this big announcement? Oh, he's chief creative officer now. Like, the announcement should have been him taking over Lucasfilm, which isn't going to happen. So I don't think she's going anywhere for years. For years, she's going to be heading up Lucasfilm. She could lose all the money in the world. They're never going to fire her. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Let me know what you guys think about all this in the comments below. Also, if you would, please like, subscribe, share the video. Make sure you're still subscribed, hit that notification bell, check out my Rumble and locals, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace. Make sure to check out my locals. There's a link in the description. It's a fun community that I'm trying to build over here. If you don't want to support me on YouTube, you can come over here. None of that money goes to YouTube. You also can just come over here for free. But if you are a supporter over here, I do plan on doing an extra live stream once a month and throwing links to the supporters so you can actually come on and have a supporter live stream with me. Also, it's a good place to catch all of my content. You don't have to worry about notifications like YouTube. They'll definitely work over here. So come check out my locals.